It is easy to notice that pop culture, media, and advertising sometimes portray animals or wild nature in general as benevolent, clean, and friendly. However, direct contact with nature often reveals that this portrayal has little to do with reality. In the early 90s, Dr. Rainer Bramer described a social phenomenon known as the Bambi Syndrome, named, of course, after the movie Bambi, whose premiere in the 40s significantly influenced the perception of hunters by the American public and, consequently, led to a twofold decrease in deer hunting. This syndrome is characterized by the infantilization and idealization of nature, which, in turn, fosters the belief that everything associated with wild nature is inherently good, pure, and defenseless. In contrast, human activities that interfere with this nature are generally viewed as malevolent and destructive, without regard to the context of these actions. An extreme case illustrating the consequences of this phenomenon was Timothy Treadwell, an American ecologist known for approaching bears extremely closely, even touching and playing with bear cubs, contrary to the public warnings of other ecologists that his behavior was harmful to the animals. Despite numerous admonitions and mandates from national park rangers, Treadwell described in his book that he had developed a sense of trust and mutual respect with the bears. Unfortunately, it eventually became evident that the bears did not share these sentiments, and in the fall of 2003, Treadwell and his girlfriend were attacked and eaten alive by them. In the overwhelming majority of cases, the Bambi Syndrome, however, arises from a simple lack of basic knowledge about the laws governing nature. It most often affects city dwellers, specifically those who have had limited contact with nature and have been raised from childhood on an idealized, and therefore unrealistic, image of wild nature commonly portrayed in advertisements and films today. The popularity of this motif should not be surprising because promoting certain products with the image of cute, innocent animals is simply profitable and sells well, especially since humans, as mammals, have a natural tendency to respond positively to small, clumsy, smiling creatures with big eyes and a disproportionately large head, features found in our young ones. While the Bambi Syndrome can lead people to see themselves as environmentalists and inundate social media with content expressing how much they care about nature or how cruelly man disrespects it, it should be emphasized here that such actions should not be confused with actual nature conservation. There are numerous examples worldwide of thoughtless destruction of nature or unnecessary cruelty towards animals for personal gain, and the fight against such practices is crucial. Fortunately, there are individuals who are deeply committed to this cause. However, to effectively protect nature against excessive human interference, one must first and foremost have a good understanding of how it truly functions. In the case of more substantial projects, such as organizing initiatives to protect the wilderness ecosystem, this requires dedicated efforts to acquire specialized knowledge in the field of ecology. However, the Bambi Syndrome tends to produce pseudo-ecologists whose actions very often have the opposite effect than intended and, in practice, function only as a convenient way to make themselves feel that they have done something good and to showcase morality. An example of the consequences of activities organized by this type of urban activists, who primarily gather their knowledge about nature from Twitter or Facebook, can be seen in the incident from 2018 when German animal defenders broke into a farm and released cows from their enclosures in an attempt to grant them freedom. The first act of these cows, reveling in their newfound freedom, was to recklessly dive into concentrated feed. As a result, several of them died from overeating, and tens were left in critical condition under the care of veterinarians. It should be noted that even if motivated by noble intentions, this type of unrealistic attitude often leads, in practice, not so much to the appreciation of nature and animals but, above all, to the devaluation of humans. A perfect example of this is seen in PETA's campaigns, which unequivocally suggest that murdering people in German extermination camps is comparable to the daily killing of animals for meat. At the same time, the same organization financially supports groups considered terrorist by the American government, such as the Animal Liberation Front. With all this in mind, it should be emphasized once again that respect for and care of nature are absolutely necessary, for the simple reason that it is the environment in which we not only live but also one that we will leave as an inheritance to our children. However, a naive, one-sided presentation of human interaction with nature creates a completely false image of nature in people, which does not help protect it at all, because nature is neither good nor bad. It just is. Only humans can be good or bad. If you found this video interesting, please share it and help reaching more audience with its message. If you don't want to miss any further episodes, subscribe and allow notifications.